Hi everyone, my name is Francesco Betti-Sorbelli. I'm a postdoc researcher at University of Perugia, Italy, and the title of this talk is a drone-based application for scouting Halyomorpha halys bugs in orchards with multifunctional nets. So in general, drones can be used for many civilian applications, but usually they can be effectively used in the smart or precision agriculture context. For example, spreading pesticides or insecticides, for mapping the soil and other parameters, and also to detect bugs, which is the application of our demo. So here the objective will be to take pictures on trees in order to detect and to monitor the bugs. So Halyomorpha halys is the scientific name of the brown marmorated stink bug, which is an insect that comes from Asia, in particular China, Japan, Korea. And it represents a high invasive pest of global importance for many crops, for example pears, apple and peaches in Italy. So here in this picture we can see a lot of them on this pear and on peaches here. And here we can see the short-term damages. Here there are punctures on this apple, and eventually we have these long-term effects. So you can see the damages that this small insect creates on the long time. In this picture we can see the traditional orchards. Traditional orchards are formed in this constrained structure. We have a row, in which a row comprises of a sequence of trees on the same line, and it is impossible to cross here the line because there are the trees and also there are the tubes for the irrigation network. But for a drone it's very easy to cross this aisle because it can change its height, then go left or go right and then go down again. But for a person or for a robot it is almost impossible to cross here the row. However, modern orchards have nets on top. Nets are useful mainly for the hail, but now are also useful for protecting the trees from the presence of bugs. And now you can see that the available space here is much less than before. So probably a teeny tiny drone can pass through, but a huge drone like the one that we have cannot pass through. So in order to change the row, it has to walk like a person. It has to go either on the first tree or to the last tree and then change the row. So in order to characterize and model the real orchards, we have devised a graph-based data structure which is called orchard. An orchard has three parameters, M, N, L. M is the number of rows, basically the number of aisles. Columns represent the other dimension on the plane, and L is the number of possible observable positions on each tree, like these ones. And this position model the fact that the drone has to take pictures at different heights on the same tree. Then we have costs on edges, because the drone is an energy constrained vehicle, and whenever it travels along edges it has to consume energy for flying and for hovering in place. Then we can model the importance of doing a specific task on vertices, assigning a reward. A higher reward means higher priority. So for example the farmer expects to take pictures on vertices with higher reward than other vertices with less reward. However, the reward is collected only once, but the cost is added multiple times. The drone traverses multiple times on the same edge. So, concerning the theoretical problem, given an orchard O, M, and L with rows, columns, and observable positions, with costs on edges and reward on vertices, given the energy budget B of the drone, and given an initial position of the drone, V0 for example, which is a vertex of the orchard, the objective will be to find a suitable route in O to from the initial position V0 such that the collected reward is maximized and the cost of the trip is not larger than B. And this problem is basically the orienteering problem. Now let's talk about the fun part. We have here the hardware, which is a DJI Matrice RTK 300 with this powerful DJI ZenMuse H20 camera on board. Our demo comprises of 3 different steps. In the first one, we have the crop inspection, which is basically a kind of pre-processing in which we model the real orchard on the graph-based data structure. Then, in the route planning, once we have assigned reward on vertices and costs on edges, we plan a suitable route for the drone in order to maximize the reward and such that the cost of the route is no larger than the available budget battery. And finally, in the drone scouting phase, we perform machine learning offline. So, about the Android application, we can say that the drone at the moment can autonomously perform a simple mission, and this mission is formed by a polygonal chain which is split in consequent waypoints, and on each waypoint the drone performs specific actions in order to take pictures. These actions are the following ones. It stops, it rotates the gimbal, which is the camera yaw, then also rotate the pitch of the camera in order to take pictures at the specified observable positions. It actually takes a picture and then it starts again to the next waypoint. This is the main window of the application, the initial window of our application. Whenever the drone is connected to the application, the Android application, we can press the enter button, and here is the main window in which we can see the map and the position of the drone and other buttons which are used for locating the drone, for turning on the RTK, the real-time kinematic, in order to have centimeter accuracy for the GPS, which is extremely crucial in our application because the available space is very limited between two consecutive aisles. And then when we have selected the mission, in this case it's just a straight line. Here in the blue marker are the actual waypoints. We can press the start button and the drone takes off. And now we can see a demonstration of our application. There we go. And finally, conclusions. So we have seen an Android application for detecting Halyomorpha halys in orchards with multifunctional nets. And the next steps will be the following one. So first we have to understand the best possible camera parameters in order to take meaningful pictures, which will be used then for training properly the machine learning algorithms. Because at the moment we don't have so much pictures, and then we have to collect them this summer. And also we would like to improve our Android application because at the moment is very raw, and then we can share with you guys. Okay, thank you for your attention.